Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the midweek special, Wednesday special of New Forest Morphs. We're trying to put in a little bit more content, maybe one every day, every other day rather. And just give you an update where we are. Lots going on. We're selling a couple of snakes and Jared's preparing the shippers coming tomorrow, quite early. So Jared, just talk us through how we go about shipping our snakes and the snakes that are going out. So this is for a smaller snake. We're using one of these particular tubs. You can see there.
Got air holes on the top.
Air holes on the top, breathable, and we've got a shipper Ridgeway who come with heated vehicles. So even though it's very warm, they'll make sure that the vehicles are regulated so they don't overheat, because a snake is more dangerously shipping in hot weather than it is in colder weather. Both are not good, but you can do something about the cold weather. You can put in heat packs which are friendly to the snakes, not too powerful. And for the larger snake that we're selling, pastel cinnamon yellow belly pied, 100% het lavender. Tony's picking that one up and Trevor's picking this one up. Let's just get the snakes out, Jared, and show them what we're selling. And the first one, I think, Jared, is over here, which is the sold. And these two came off Morph Market, so we can see just how beautiful these snakes are, Jared. So that's the one that's going. Very powerful potential dreamsicle multi-combo. And it's got the Dalmatian spots coming. So they've been coming every month. We seem to get a new spot, and they're getting bigger and larger, and it's lovely because this is what you expect on a panda pied. You expect larger spots to grow on a panda pied, but this one is a pastel cinnamon, potentially yellow belly, and I believe it could be yellow belly, so that could prove out. And 100%
het for lavender.
Het for lavender, yeah. So that's lovely. So that should be going tomorrow, Jared. And then for Trevor, we've got the Ultramel het pied.
Yeah, top right.
Top right is doing particularly well. And you can see that we put them on paper for travelling.
Yeah.
And there we go. And you can see this one's very much like his father Colt. And you can see he's got all of the crossovers, and he's got various extra hole patterns in there. If you look carefully, Jared, we're going to prove out and see whether our boy is carrying Het Monsoon, but if he is, there's a chance that this might be possibly Het Monsoon, but we're not selling it with that. But it might be a bonus for Trevor if it does prove out. If we get a positive shed test on the father, we let the customers know that so that they can also bear that in mind. But we've sold this and priced it without Het Monsoon, but it could have it in there, Jared. So, beautiful boy. They're all healthy, weighing well. They're eating well, Jared, and they are looking absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
And you can see the het markings on him at the bottom there, but he's 100% het for pied.
Yeah.
And two beautiful animals. So that's an update on our customer sales. So we'll just put those back in their rubs. And you're coming in tomorrow to finish.
Yeah, they're coming around 8:30 AM.
8:30. They should be with them. Do they deliver within 24 hours, or what's the Ridgeway?
It's normally within 48, but they look after them throughout that period. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it depends where they're getting shipped to, but
yeah, that's fine. So that's one update there. We've also had the Viper beddings arrive, Jared.
yeah.
And we've got plenty. Bought 8 more blocks, and Gav's company is very efficient. That came within literally 3 days of the order.
Yeah.
So that's how efficient that is. And also on our rat supply, we have to give Ridgeway credit where it's due. We ordered those a couple of days ago, and they all
They're
arrived.
next day delivery, aren't they?
Next day delivery was fantastic. So I mean, this service, the industry is wonderful. When things work that well in the UK, it inspires us as hobbyists and breeders to have that reliable source, because people worry about sourcing their rats. They worry about there not being enough, and that's why a lot of people have had to start breeding their own because of it, particularly in the US, some parts of the US. But some people have allergies to breeding, Jared, and allergies to reed ticks. I mean, I have friends that have sold reed ticks because they were getting allergic reactions from their wee, and you've got to be careful with bigger animals like that, because
Wow.
you know. So it's amazing. Now I know you still want your blood python, Jared.
Yeah, one day I'll get one.
And we will be getting one, and we've got a local breeder that's successfully breeding some blood pythons, and we'll bring that into the facility and we'll show you how stocky and how beautiful they are. But it will be probably a birthday present for Jared at some point, as soon as the finances allow and our workload is such that we can manage those extra commitments. The other thing I want to do is give a shout out to Callum. Callum turned 17 yesterday, Jared, and he's had a wonderful birthday, and we've decided to give him a golden ticket to Willy Wonka's, or Wonky Willy's, snake pit factory. And what we've done is we've given him a golden ticket to come into the factory, and he gets a £50 voucher towards his snake. They are booking a 4-day holiday, Jared, in our holiday lets, and they're coming down in the summer. And hopefully, now that Callum is 17, he's going to be taking driving lessons, and he's going to get himself a car. And they were just looking for cars, and he sent me a couple of nice pictures of potential cars. So you can see Callum getting used to being in his potential new vehicle. He's looking for a 208, Jared. He wants a Peugeot 208, I think. That's what he's looking for. But
nice.
Brand new vehicle, Jared, and that will give him the mobility. And I said to him, once he passes driving test, he can drive down here anytime he likes. He wants to come down and spend some time in there. And he's looking at a VW at the moment. That's on their shortlist. So it's lovely to see the contact that we have with our customers is lovely. And then Mum Laura's checking out another car. They're checking out cars on his birthday. It's lovely. They went. They like their go-karting. So when they come down, they want a go-kart. Mark likes to play golf, and that's one of the snakes that they produced. And they asked us whether it has Mojave, but that's a banana. I think there's something else going on. I don't think there's Mojave in there, Jared. If you zoom in, if anyone else can guess what else is going on in there, it's either a particularly good banana, high-intensity banana, isn't it, Jared?
Yeah, it's pretty.
Isn't
It's
it
not
beautiful?
Mojave, but it's pretty.
But it could be. What do you know? What I think it could be. It says they think they might have another gene floating around their genetics, and I think that gene is a high-end gene, and it's autumn sun gene. Now, the autumn sun is a particularly very expensive genetic, but one of the snakes they bought from the original breeder of the autumn sun could have autumn sun in there, so they might have hit it lucky, like we may have hit it lucky with the monsoon. So that could be the autumn sun influence, Jared. It looks so bright. I've never seen a banana that bright, have you?
As babies, they're usually pretty bright.
Yeah.
And you always think, oh, has it got OD? Has it got something? And then they
Yeah.
change as they get older.
Absolutely. So we wish Mark and Callum and the family all well. And I sent them the link to our apartments. You can see there, Jared, we're on Airbnb. If you want to zoom in on that link there. Anyone that wants to check out the apartments. We've got another person buying snakes that wants to book into our accommodation coming down, and we're looking forward to Rich from Predator BP. He's coming down to stay with us for a couple of nights in July, and we're going to be shooting some videos, so that's all going to be great. So having the holiday let business is really complementing our main business here, and I think anyone out there that's thinking about a snake holiday and want to have a snake adventure, book our accommodation. You're welcome to come into the facility, experience some snake candy, maybe even walk away with a couple of snakes. We are having a marketing drive right now, and we'll be offering extra discounts during the summer, and Jared will be putting up some lovely animals. We have been doing some sexing, Jared, yesterday, and we should update everyone with the sexes of our triple heads. And I wanted to talk about the value of triple heads today as well, because the beautiful thing about triple heads is that they take 2 or 3 years to get up to size, but you can start preparing early. Once you've hit your double visual boys, it's worth keeping hold of your single recessive girls. Now, a lot of people sell their single recessive girls on, Jared, and we were tempted to do that. But we're rethinking now our strategy for actually producing the triple heads. Is, for example, let's take the DG girl in there, Jared. Have a quick look at her, see how she's getting on. She's getting yellower and yellower with every shed, Jared. Doesn't she look beautiful?
Smell that food.
Smelling the food. Now, Jared, let's just, on that moment, you've mentioned the food, let's just go through and show, we will come back to the triple head model, but while we're talking food, let's just show you, we've got a big feeding day this afternoon, and let's show our technique for actually defrosting these rats. So, we put covers over them because we don't want flies coming in and laying their eggs on there, because if those eggs get on the rats, Jared, and they eat those, that can digest, that goes into the snake, and we don't want any germs going into our snakes. So if you look carefully, these are 150 gram rats for our bigger girls. We've got probably about 50 of those.
They're not 150 grams, they're bigger than that, aren't they?
I think these are 150s I've got out, Jared. We've got some 200s, but I'm actually gently bringing on some of the females from last year that were giving us clutches. And Callum, Mark and I had a chat about that, and they're finding that their girls are going back on food, but they're starting them off with 60 gram multis first. And this is another good top tip for any new breeders, is that when you have a clutch of eggs, what you mustn't do is present a large meal to them a few days after they give you that clutch, because they've been through a lot of stress and that will stress them out. Give them a smaller multi. If they want to take it, fine. If they don't worry. Give them time to go through their post shed, because they go through what they call a post lay shed. I've got one girl at the moment that's going through a post lay shed, Jared. Come and have a look at this. I think it's Emma. Now she gave us the last clutch of eggs. Now if you look at her, she only gave it to us literally, those eggs were only about, what, less than 10 days away, but now she's going into a post-lay shed. So we presented food to her and she has eaten since she gave us the eggs, but we'll be very sensitive to give her a small prey item in shed, or nothing at all. Now, Jared's got all the hatchlings feeding in shed, haven't you, Jared?
They eat no matter what.
It's incredible. You've got them fired up, Jared. This is lovely. But she's doing particularly well, recovering. And that's what you have, is what's called a post-lay shed. And it's important that they go through all the cycles. And that's a sign of them being healthy, is that if your snakes shed nicely after they give you a clutch, if they're feeding nicely, you're managing the breeding very well. If your snakes are not feeding, and if they are not shedding well, it might be a sign that they've been through too much stress, and therefore you may have to give them extra love and attention to get them back in. And smaller prey items, good humidity.
Wash them after the eggs.
If you're really worried, go and make an appointment with a vet and have them checked out. It's worth opening up their mouths to make sure they've got no RI issue, because stress brings on stress in an animal makes them more vulnerable to RI issues. So a lot of people don't realise that stress and RI go together. Therefore, the less stress your snakes go under, the less chance you have of having an RI issue. And if you do have an RI issue, there are remedies and there are ways of actually bringing your snakes back into health. So it isn't the end of the day if you get an RI issue. So just to let you know that there are remedies for that too. But these are good indicators for when you have a female that's come off eggs. Go carefully with them. They are delicate still. They have spent a lot of energy giving you those eggs, and you have to give them a lot of respect and a lot of love. Clean bedding, wash them, give them good humidity, give them small prey items, and go at their pace, basically. Now back to the feeding side. We've got over here, Jared, these are your
30 grams.
30 grammars. So these are going to be for Maltese. These are for the grow-ons.
And then we've got the babies.
So the babies. Now, why do you leave them in their packets there, Jared?
They just defrost really quick, so there's no need to take them out.
Yeah, and also it means that
Keeps
if
the
any
flies
flies
off.
come along, they're not going to go on there. It protects them. Some people like to drop theirs into water. I know quite a few breeders that use the water method. I think the key really is, with the water method, you wash out a lot of the flavour of the animal, and therefore the smell and the scenting of the animal can actually be reduced if you wash them out. So we've tried that methodology, and the feeding instincts weren't as strong. While we've cleaned today, we've got to be very careful when we've got rats out, because I nearly got bitten today. One came flying out at me, and I managed, because I used to be a rugby player as well, Jared, I can dodge, and I'm like an ex-fighter myself, and I know how to dodge punches and dodge things. So that's quite useful, because it was within that close of getting me, and it was just me opening up a tub, checking our grow-ons, and we've got 6 new grow-ons to show you that are going into their adult rubs, which we'll come on to that in a second. But look at the layered sandwich approach. So coming back to how we defrost, we've got a radiator underneath here, and on top of that we've got the lids of our 33 litre rubs, and you've got some really large items that are defrosting. And what we do is we change the sandwich over. Once they are starting to defrost, we'll then move the top layer down to the bottom and vice versa, and then we might even turn the rats on a grill and actually flip them over so that they get defrosted on both sides. Most of our snakes like them medium rare, Jared. Would you agree with that? How do you like your steaks? No, I'm just joking, but you can see we've got literally 150 animals to feed this afternoon, and together we'll do that in an hour, won't we, Jared?
Hopefully.
Yeah. The other thing is we've got hatchlings to feed as well, and we'll let you know how we get on with those. But let's go back to the triple het methodology, and also we'll go on to those grow-ons that are moving up. So, producing triple hets, Jared, we came back to this Desert Ghost girl. She's obviously smelling the food. You can see, you've got to be careful. We shouldn't really show you too many snakes on feeding day, because we're likely to get bit. And I don't think I've been bit on camera yet, Jared. So, and it's not too bad. They're non-venomous, and babies are pinpricks, aren't they, Jared? Yep. A big, full-grown adult will give you a whack. And there are techniques, and on Sunday when that comes over, we're going to be talking about what you do if you get bitten and constricted by a snake. And there are techniques to actually carefully remove the snake without breaking her teeth. So while we're on the subject of Nat, let's just show you something really funny, because I just love her approach to enrichment. Now Nat sent me a couple of pictures that I just fell in love with. And Joe, just take a look at what they've done. I mean, this family go over the top. I'm not kidding you. OTT. But it's not really OTT, it's just love. There's an idea for anyone that wants to have a playground for their snakes, and particularly in this hot weather. They've made a garden space. They've converted one of their cat boxes, climbing areas, into a snake climbing area. And if I show you the next picture, you can see there's climbing pegs. She's into climbing pegs. She has climbing pegs in the vids as well. And obviously they'll be supervised while they're out there. They'll be out there as a family. But their snakes get some beautiful climbing, and I like the rope they've got at the top, Jared. Isn't it a lovely idea? So that's something that we might do ourselves, Jared, and maybe have that on an outside space. So well done, Nat, well done, Matt and family, for sharing that beautiful initiative with us. And we're looking forward to seeing you on Sunday. Let's go back to the triple het, Jared. So we were thinking about getting rid of some of our single visuals. For example, we've got another girl here, Starburst. She's a Mojave ultra male girl, one of our original babies from our original clutches, Jared. We're thinking of selling her, but actually why not hold on to her and use her for our triple hets? Because we could put, for example, we could put this guy, Bingo, to her. Now, Bingo's shed out and he's looking particularly good. And we've moved him up before, but he does better in a smaller rub. But he is a leopard clown pied with banana in. Now imagine if we put him to this girl here, Starburst, and we would end up with triple hets, Jared, that will have banana, leopard and Mojave in, and all those three genes go beautifully together. And I've never seen a banana and an ultramel together. Now they're both from a similar family, which is basically the albino family. So the banana is from the albino family, Jared, and you've got the ultramel that's from the albino family. They're not on the full spectrum, but they're actually part way on the spectrum. If you were to combine those two, I think you'd find it'd be really interesting to see what it will produce. And if you've got Mojave leopard and you've got Mojave leopard and banana in that as well, with the clown pie triple hets, you've got really powerful you've got four incomplete dominants potentially going into a triple het. And that's where the value is. And it takes 3 years for the females to get up and a year for the boys to get up. So what you're doing is you're selling, I mean, she would probably go for probably 200 or 300 quid. So that's what would generate an income. But actually the triple hets are worth nearly £300 or £400 each as babies. So by putting in a high-end male to some of your single recessive genetics that look particularly good, you're producing valuable clutches going forward for your own breeding and for your friends. So it's just an idea. The other thing is that people are moving into supers rather than recessive, Jared. Now what are the advantages of actually producing, you've got your super gravel clown clutch that you're building. Why are you going that route, and what are the advantages over having a double recessive instead of a single recessive with two incomplete dominant or complete dominant going in?
Well, every single baby that you get from a super will be a single form of that gene. So super gravel, everything will be gravel. Super Mojave, everything will be Mojave.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the advantage. So the reason why a lot of breeders are now focusing on doing the incomplete supers going in, creating supers from the incomplete genetics, is that you don't need to have the other partner of the snake carrying those genetics, because you're guaranteed to get a visual representation from a super. So if you have, for example, we've got Galileo, he's a super pastel double het. We've got a clutch coming from him, which is the Xantic clown clutch. Now we're guaranteed to get pastel in there, and when you have pastel hitting the Xantic, you have a really wonderful snake. So they go well together. So we're guaranteeing pastel. So having a super pastel is like having a recessive. In fact, it's actually more effective, because that means that if you put him to an animal that isn't carrying pastel, you're still going to get a pastel, one copy of the pastel, going into the offspring. So there's more power in supers in some ways than there is in recessives. Now that might be double Dutch to newcomers. We're going to have a conversation on Sunday about talking about hets. Now people think that hets only apply to recessives, that isn't the case. Het means you've got one gene. That het could also be in a super. So for example, a super banana or a super pastel has the two hets coming together, giving you that super. If you had a banana, actually a banana is like a het. It's got one of the genes. Just as a ultramel that you can't see, which is a recessive, has one ultramel, but there's an ultramel in there, but you can't see the visual representation. So with a recessive you can't see it, with an incomplete dominant you can see the one het. And then when you put the two incomplete dominants together to get the supers, you see a magnified version of the genetic. In the case of the gravel, you've got a highway. Go and have a look at your gravel gill, Jared, and we can highlight what it looks like. The super gravel produces quite an unusual snake that doesn't look anything like a gravel gill.
So you're going to try and bite me is the question.
Okay.
Most likely.
So there you have what a super gravel can do. It does change the pattern. It's not just an enhanced version of what you have, but the power is that she would give us everything that's gravel. Now, if we look at the clutch that she's given us, which we've sexed by the way, so come and have a look at the sexing of the clutches. We ended up with how many females, Jared, and how many males?
We've got 3 females, 4 males.
Yeah, so it wasn't too bad, 50-50. So here's an example of a het gravel.
Of a gravel.
Of a gravel, sorry. Or it could be.
It is het clown.
It's het clown, but we could say it's het gravel. We could
Don't
say.
confuse people.
Okay.
It's a gravel.
Okay, it's a gravel, but
You could call it a het.
it's a
super
one
gravel.
gene. Therefore, anything which is one gene is a het. It doesn't have to be in a recessive. It can be in an incomplete dominant as well, and a dominant. So that's what you're getting. Now, if you put 2 of these together and they breed, you'll get what Jao just showed you from Electra, which is the highway look, the motorway it looks on her back. She gets those stripes. So that's we've got 3 girls and we've got 4 boys. So if anybody would like to produce a super highway or a super gravel clown, have you got any examples of those, Jared? You can show them what they look like. These are going to be going on to Morph Market, Jared. But obviously any of our friends that want to make us an offer on Instagram or on my Facebook account, or give me a call if you've got my mobile number, or WhatsApp me, we'll do a pair for you and see if you'd like to get into the project. Jared will try and find an example of what they are. And then while he's doing that, I'll give you an update with some of the other clutches. Now we've ended up with a very high male dominant sexing on the Ultramel Clown clutch number 4, I think it was, Jared, was it? Or was it, hang on, it was the...
It's a super gravel.
Super gravel. Is that a beautiful example, Jared? Is that a super gravel clown?
I think it's got other stuff in it as well, but yeah, it's a super gravel pastel clown.
You put in leopard, you put in OD, you put in yellow belly, and add that into the mix, which is what we want to do. They are stunning, Jared, aren't they?
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful. Make sure there's pastel in as well. The pastel makes it pop. Enchi's very good in super gravel, and that's called the Mardi Gras. And I think Callum's got a Mardi Gras, Jared. He's got an Enchi super gravel. So let's talk about the sexing. So the triple het project that we were shooting for was the Ultramel Clown Pied. We managed to get, I think it was 5 of those, was it, Jared?
6.
We got 6. Now in that 6, we got 1 female.
5 males.
And we got 5 males. That means that some of these males are going to come available. Now normally, a triple het normally goes for about £250 to £300. So if you want to get into a triple het project and you want to pick up one of our boys, so this one, they're all, I think are they all pastel, or we've got a mixture?
No.
So this
One's
one's
pastel.
This one's a pastel triple het, and that will save you 7 to 8 years work in creating that, Jared, from scratch. And what you're getting for £200 or £300, you're buying into a triple het project. We will keep the female, because if we show you the female that's coming on, which we're going to be breeding on shortly, which we need to just check her. We haven't given her. We have Zuria. There she is. So she's got leopard and OD in her, and she's triple het. I'm so glad we bought that, Jared, because
she's pastel as well.
She's got pastel as well. Now, I'm glad we bought that, because had we relied on our own home production, we would end up with a big problem. And that problem would be, we end up with too many males, not enough females. In fact, we've got 1 female, gives us a second bite of the cherry. The more girls you have in the triple heads, the more the chances improve. So in the last few minutes, we're just going to share the 6 groans that are going up. We'll start with Olympia. Here she is, Jared. We've weighed her, she comes in at 600 grams. And look how beautiful she is, isn't she beautiful?
Yeah.
So let's just have a wee look at her. We called her.
She's lovely.
She's just, what's in her, Jared? What's her?
I think she's an Enchi lesser leopard.
There's her head stamp. Got a lovely green eye. She's got the Olympic torch on her head. That's why we called her Olympia. And she'll start smelling rats soon, so we won't mess about. We'll put her straight in, and you can see how we've set her up. She's got a small hide. She's got a lovely clean water bowl, fresh cocoa husk, and she's good to go. So we'll put her back in there, Jared. And what I'll do is we'll move through these quite quickly.
We'll just on later. I if you got time.
Just put her name on there, shall we? Just so we know that where she is. Well, we'll do that later.
Yeah, do it there. You
Okay.
know what she looks like.
So the next one, then, Jared, are these 3 girls here. These are pastel cine yellow belly pied het lavenders. We've got 3. And you've got 3 tubs as well, haven't you, Jared? So do you want to do them? So look at the spots, Dalmatian spots on there. They're het for pied, het for lavender albino. So we're hoping to hit some
She's got some
multi-combo dreamsicles with these, aren't we, Jared? And they're all 600 each. And that one there,
This
Jared?
one's in a shed, so we'll wet them down.
Yeah. Well done, Jared.
2.
This frees up some space for our babies that have outgrown their hatchling tubs. This one's going into shed as well, Jared. So
Have you already sprayed them? Yeah, they're wet already.
they've all
so
been
they're
sprayed
fine.
down. Now I've got to be careful here because I'm likely to get bitten here. So she's lovely as well. They're all beautiful girls. In you go. So we're excited about that because that's just taking our Dream School project to the next level. But also not just our Dream School project, it's also taking our Holy Grail project to the next level as well, because we can plug those into the clowns as well. And the last one is it? We've got 2 more or 1 more to go,
One
Jared?
more.
1 more. So the
That
last
one
one
down
is this one here. Now this one is our spot nose multi-combo clown girl, Rudy.
Just here.
She's going into here. She's 600. These are all 600 grams. We've weighed them. So we'll put her in there. That gives them the time to settle, and I think that she'll do really well in there, Jared. So that's about it on the move ups, Jared. Jared thrashed me at golf the other day, just to let you know, and Jared's keeping a copy of the scorecard so we can see how we're improving. But I'm really pleased that I'm out playing golf with a buggy. I've not done it for a while, and Jared is very modest, but I need to let you know that if you play him, because Mark's bringing his golf clubs down when he visits, so we have to have a game. Jared's capable of hitting. What's your top hit on your pinger?
Total distance 332, and then carry 310.
332, carry 310, so he can hit a ball and reasonably straight as well. So that's semi-professional level, Jared, even though I know you're not. You're a very humble man. Just to let Mark practice before he comes down, so you don't give him a complete thrashing. Not very competitive. Fellow Liverpool supporter as well. But we're looking forward to seeing you all on the weekend. We're going to shoot a video on Sunday, so you're going to get some more footage. I hope everyone's doing well. Thank you so much for your love and support. Let us know if you're interested in triple hets. We'll put your name on our wait list and we'll make some available to you. Thanks for all your support, and see you soon. Bye for now.